Slightly different video today, rust busting. So if you've been following along, you'll know that my front hubs, well, potentially cause an issue, but they're not very pretty. Someone's ringtone. They're the bit that lets the front suspension down a little. And I've got some spares because I scrapped another Z3 under duress last year, but as you can see, these ones are a bit of a mess. They haven't come from under the ocean. This is just what happens to British cars in the north, the wet north, albeit it's beautiful today. So I thought, a bit of an experiment. Even if they look like this, can they be worth restoring? Can I get these calipers back to useful condition? Can I get the hubs back to useful condition? I'll obviously replace the tinware, replace the bearings, put new discs and pads in, new pistons. But is actually the raw material any good? Or should I just go and buy some new ones? I'm in a bad mood because the ABS fault's still stopping me getting an MOT, and I can't get hold of the parts I need in order to fix it. In fact, I've just spent an inordinate amount of money trying to get one soon so that I can get the car in this week, my time, and finally start driving it again. But yeah, I thought I'd take out some of my frustration on some rusty parts. And that's what this probably little mini-series is going to be, getting these back to good condition. Maybe one video, maybe a couple, we'll see. Quick walk around before I really get started. Some things that are going to be tricky. This Allen head that holds the ABS sensor in is completely knackered, so I'll have to grind that back, either drill it out or weld on a nut. That's not going to come out easily. It's just all crust. Likewise, I suspect the brake hose won't come out very easily. Everything else, well, we'll see. This one's even worse, potentially. What do they even make these out of? And did they ever wash this car? Yeah, so that's not going to be easy. But underneath all this junk, the casting on this is pretty decent. So first things first, I'm going to soak it all down with some WD-40, penetrating oil, and see if we can get some bolts off. Clearly a northern camera. It's having some temperature issues, which means I'm missing quite a lot here. But as you can see, separated out the calipers from the hubs. Filming a little bit on my phone while my camera cools off a little. As you can see, the wheel speed sensor did not want to come out. That's well and truly wedged in. So I'll have to drill that and then clean up that hole. It'll come out fine eventually. Calipers off though, no problem with that. With a bit of brute force. Obviously I'll be replacing these discs, and the tinware, which actually looked reasonable on first inspection, is completely shot. So new tinware as well. Going to flip it over, get the dust cap off, and get the hub apart. See if I can get it down to its component pieces. There we go, almost down to its constituent parts. This needs cleaning up and protecting. I'll wrap some masking tape around that before I do much else. Still need to get the ABS sensor out, which even after hitting with a hammer does not want to move. And there's one bolt stuck that's rounded off, and that was a 10mm once upon a time. I may be able to hammer a 9mm onto it and spin that off and get the remains of the tinware off. But then we can clean this up, and actually, you know, I think it's going to clean it pretty nicely. So we'll take that spindle, hammer that out, get the remaining tinware off, do the same on the other side, and then we can get a wire wheel on it, maybe something a bit coarser as well. We'll try with the wire wheel, get it nice and clean, degrease, and then give it a good coat of paint. Might just do hammerite on this one. I'm tempted to do a sort of two-part epoxy or something that's going to really last. But I've just bought a load of second-hand hammerite from a neighbour, and I've got a nice brown colour that might look pretty cool. So maybe that. Forgot to say, big thanks to Boots Owen. I'll link to his channel below for the loan of the pullers. He lent me a couple actually. Didn't need either of them. The bottom bearing came off with a couple of taps, so I clearly had it slightly easier than Porsche EV or EV Boxster. Can't remember, Paul, what your channel's called or what your Instagram handle is, but I know you'll see this. So yeah, I had it easier than you in the end. Bit of heat did for the rounded bolt, just heated it up. Well, no, heated it up a lot. So map gas on it, got it super hot, hit it with some WD-40, and then hammer screwdriver, just tapping on the corners, and it spun right out. So that's gone, and then just sheer brute force did for the wheel speed sensor. Used a socket as a drift, an impact socket as a drift, and drifted it right out of there. So now to do the same thing for the other side. On the other side, one of these extractors comes in a little set like this. Excellent extractors, which I got to get the rear subframe off. You can see, oh, they sort of twist in. Really good. On the other side, one of those on my little impact driver. Oh, that's my finger. Worked. Let's hope it works on this side too. I think we can safely say the answer to that is no. Nice round hole in the top there now. So, I have to try some other stuff. I'm going to wrap that up there. At least we've done one of the spindles. That's ready to be cleaned and painted. Not touched the calipers yet. That'll be another episode, I suspect. Getting those cleaned up. I think I've actually got some rebuild kits for those ready to go. Left over from the restoration, the original restoration of the car, or at least restoration. Getting it past its MOT. So off camera, I'll sort out the other spindle, and then I'll do an episode cleaning and painting those, and then I'll do one on the calipers as well. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one. Bye bye.